Train the muscles, not the joints. Welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about something that my brother and I discovered and what I discovered a long time ago. And I want to make sure also, some of you guys know that although I advocate, higher frequency type training, it's not the only type of training that has worked for me, because I have done periods of time where I do higher volume. So I will be putting on my website a higher volume type training program as well, because I think it's good to go back and forth and find out what the perfect sweet spot is for you, the perfect program for you at this time. And just like any technique that I teach or anything that I do, there's always a time and place for each technique. And sometimes the perfect technique for you one day is not the perfect technique for you another day. Okay, so it's always about mixing and matching these things and just discovering through your own creativity what is perfect for you. So one thing I want to say is that my brother started training higher frequency than I did at an earlier time frame. Okay, so he started doing it before I did, and that's one of the reasons why we discovered that higher frequency training really does help with strength. But at the same time, there was something about higher volume training that did help with putting on muscle mass. Because when I was doing my 3-day splits and 4-day splits, and I was doing like 20 sets or 15 sets for a body part, I was noticing that although my muscle was kind of dumber, it was technically bigger than his muscles were. And now I know that we are twins, but at the same time, we do have some differences in our structure and stuff, like such as I'm taller. We do have different limbs and things. We're not exactly the same, as much as some people like to say twins are exactly the same, but we do have a lot of similarities. And I did find that doing higher volume did have a tendency to access a certain type of muscle fiber type that you might not access in a lower type of volume setting with higher frequency. Say doing 3 or 5 sets per body part and training the body part 3 or 4 days a week, right? So just so you know, sometimes doing the 15 sets or 20 sets, as much as it might be stupid for some people, for long term, it might actually be the right thing for you. So you always want to be open with this, right? So I noticed that my chest and my back and my legs really did develop from that, and I will be actually doing some training programs on YouTube at some point. I will be doing a 3-day split and showing you what it looks like when I do a workout program like that. One of the things though that really got me into higher frequency training was, and it wasn't like I get a lot of comments down below from people that are really left brain. They really want to figure everything out and understand why, and all the science and everything. But one of the things that I did when I did higher frequency training, it was just really a practical side of things. Whereas I found when I was training body parts once a week, or training legs, only once a week or twice a week, I found that by the time I came around to legs again, it was just like devastating. And I was like, man, doing these long leg workouts, it's puking in a bucket. I was like nauseated from doing high rep sets and everything. I was like, my God, I just want to have smaller workouts so I'm not avoiding them. Because I noticed that sometimes when I come around to leg training, I was like, maybe I'll train tomorrow. Maybe I should take a day off today. So in order to circumvent that, I say you always come up with your own games to keep you motivated. I started doing a higher frequent type leg training, so every day was pretty much leg day, or at least every second day, so I couldn't really justify taking a day off. I couldn't say, oh, I'm just going to take another day off today. And at the same time, I was doing lower volume, so it wasn't as hard to get motivated. Some people, leg training is their favorite thing, and right now I love leg training, but back then I didn't love training legs, although they were one of my best body parts. They did take a lot out of me, right? So that was just a technique that I developed. The higher frequency was a technique I developed in order to basically be more motivated in the gym. So sometimes the techniques you come up with have a lot more to do with just what motivates you to get in there, because that's 50% of it. If you're getting in the gym and you're motivated to go, that's going to give you much more results than you saying, okay, I'm going to stick to this perfect program and then miss because you just can't fulfill the obligation of training that way, right? Because it's just too painful to you or whatever, right? So anyway, so higher volume does have its benefits. And I will be doing higher volume from time to time, and sometimes taking that extra rest and beating the body part to death for a day and then taking a lot of rest and coming back around to a higher volume does have some benefit. So I'm just here to share with you that there is not just one way to train, right? I always say this, but I just want to make sure I make a video of this specifically, because it seems like I always get asked these questions unless I make a video. So have fun with some volume once in a while too. So one way I would structure this is that if you do frequent training, like say you're doing a 2-day split, for a while, like you're doing 2 or 3 months of that, and then you're doing whole body workouts and everything, then I would recommend, after you do that for a few months, then I'd say come back around and do a 3-day split for a while and do higher volume and work with getting those super pumps in your workouts. And it's not only going to refresh your enthusiasm for working out, but it's also going to assist you with actually accessing some muscle fibers you might not be through the higher type frequency training. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and make sure you visit my website, naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and take care for now. There you go, train the muscles, not the joints. Guaranteed to make your back bigger, guaranteed.